Okay, what's up, folks? How are you doing? It's Ted here. We are back as every single time with the pick'ems. It's time for the pick'ems. Every single time there is a major, we are doing those videos with separate video clips, I guess, for every single stage. We're gonna start it off with the opening stage now. I've just released the viewer pass and the team logo stickers. I don't believe the autographs are out yet. Just a couple hours ago. I'm actually right after a cast here. I couldn't record that earlier because I had some cast to do, but now we have time. I literally finished my Metisport and Alternate Attacks. Crazy game, by the way. Just finished a couple minutes ago. So we are ready to get into it. Now I'm going to take my time with it. There is a couple changes as well. We are going to look at the first round matchups as well initially. And I'm gonna share with you some information about the calculator. The major calculator, for those of you that are unfamiliar with how things go on there, I'm gonna leave a link below and I'll explain about it later on. But yeah, I wanted to actually do that little intro as well to let you guys know that I am a pretty happy man right now because I'm officially partnered with Azone, which is well, I guess one of the leading brands in terms of high quality headsets for esports and high level gaming. It is a Danish company. You know, they've been providing headsets for some of the biggest CS tournaments in recent history. We're talking tier 1 LAN events, studio events, and stuff like that. And it's the highest quality you can get out there on the market. So you can check them out. Great people. Phenomenal quality. I'm using the Aspire headset right now, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually feel a little bit bad because I'm not even using the microphone because obviously I have a different mic. But yeah, there is a microphone. I used it on stream a couple times. People told me it's nice, so you can check it out if you want to. There's gonna be a link below, and of course you can get 10% off with my code. So yeah, with that being said, without further ado, let's get into the first round matchups and let's get into the pick'ems, baby. Come on. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna take a look at the first round matchups. Now, one of the big changes in the pick'em starting this year is that you now need to specifically point out the two teams that are going to make it through in a 3-0 fashion without dropping a single game, and you don't get a point anymore if you say that a team is going to qualify, but then they win 3-0. You're not getting that point, right? You need to guess the score. You need to guess which two teams will make it through 3-0. So that makes it a little bit more complicated. And there's two angles that you can take with this one. I'm going to get into that a little bit later on. So the first thing that I'm going for right now is for my 3-0 and 0-3 picks. I want to choose teams. Now, first of all, my 0-3 pick is pretty obvious, but for me at least. But the angle that I'm going to go for or go with for this one is you got to look at the first round matchups and, at least for me, just pick two teams that you believe have a big chance of winning their first games. So I'm looking at Eternal Fire and the Mongols. I feel like there is some room for upset here for the Mongols. So this is an iffy one. I would still favor Eternal Fire on a good day, but I think that the Mongols could be one of the pleasant surprises of this stage. Ents Imperial, I'm just going away from this one. I feel like this is up in the air and Imperial could upset here. So this is not a game that I'm willing to put my 3-0 on. Apex Pain, I'm not really interested in this one either. Apex should be able to pick it up, but I don't think Apex go through 3-0, and I don't think Pain go out 0-3 as well, but I'm going to get into that later on. So moving up, we have 9 Panda Samco. It's a CS derby. I strongly advise you not to be looking at those two teams because this is an extremely close game. Both teams are playing good CS. Both teams are inconsistent yet consistent, right? They know how to play proper CS, but it's an iffy situation, especially with Amcal because they've had some mixed results. So not looking at this one. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. I feel like for me, the angle I'm gonna take, and I'm actually gonna skip that. I'm gonna get back to it. Furia Legacy. On paper should be an easy Furia win, right? So Legacy should be going 0-1, but do I want to go with the Furia 3-0? I don't think I want to go with the Furia 3-0. And then looking at So and Koi, So should have this one in the back, so could be a dark horse for 3-0, but I see them dropping a game somewhere on the road. I feel like they're really, really solid right now, but I'm not sure if I can justify another Soul 3-0 here, even though they did it at the RMR. So for me, looking at the Heroic Limb Vision game, this is a great one for me, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel like this is a great combination between just getting a straight up 1-0 start for a team that I believe is going to go through 3-0, and then a Limb Vision that I believe is going to go out 0-3. So I think this is the game that we're looking at. This is probably the most one-sided of them all, I believe, alongside the C9 Ecstatic. And even C9 Ecstatic, I could see a world where Ecstatic pull off an upset. But this is something to have in mind. Of course, the fact that there will be upsets is best of ones for the first 3 rounds. there will be a lot of upsets. So what we can do right now is try and be logical about it as much as we can. So I'm looking at those first round matchups, and initially what strikes me is you either go Eternal Fire, C9, or Heroic for those 3-0s. If you want to be really interesting with it, you could try and ride the momentum with Fury and Soul as well, which I think would be an out of the box approach for this one. I really do believe that Soul could pull off a 3-0 here. They've been playing some great CS, and they've built up a pretty nice foundation recently. So I think those are the obvious picks. And then what we're gonna do to actually choose what to go for, we're gonna go to this website here, which is majors.im/24 Copenhagen, which is pretty much the calculator essentially. It's like a simulator to what's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna go through every single round and everything that could happen. All I'm gonna do is look at some of the different options that could actually happen. So one of the things that strikes me down instantly is the fact that if Heroic win their games, which they should be, their opening games, and everything goes as planned, there is a chance that Cloud9 end up facing off against Heroic in the 2-0 matchup, and there is no chance for Eternal Fire to actually play one of those two teams. So that instantly actually makes Ents and Eternal Fire two teams that you could try and go for a 3-0. I believe that Eternal Fire could be a good one to, ride away with the momentum. I've seen a lot of people pick them as a 3-0. I feel like this is the save angle to, this is the one that you go with if you want to get both teams correct. Now, the thing is, if I have to compare Heroic and C9 in the best 3, I'd probably give it to C9. There is a safe way that you can go with this and just pick C9 and Heroic as your 3-0. And that way, if they get up to the 2-0 matchup, you're guaranteed to get that 1 point, right? You're guaranteed to get this one. I will, however, as I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of options actually, but I will, however, go for the Eternal Fire still, and I think I'm gonna pick C9. So this is why I'm looking at the opening round matchups. I just want to see which teams are gonna get favorable matchups early on, which teams I think will qualify but might lose their openings. Of course, there will be a lot of upsets, so have that in mind. So yeah, now we've looked at that. Obviously, if you want to get into it and dig into, trying to simulate every single outcome of a game, which is nearly impossible, but if you believe that you can do that, I'm going to leave a link for the website below. So with that being said, I think I've made up my mind for the 3-0 and one of the all 3 matchups, which I think I'm going to go all 3 for Lim Vision, and I'm going to think about the other one as we're in the game. So yeah, let's get back to the game. We're done here. Okay, so now that we're back, one of the first thing that actually strikes me down is the new design, which I'm not necessarily sure if I like, to be fair. I think it's something new, it's something fresh. I like the idea of something changed because, the previous one has been around for a long time, but I'm not necessarily sure if I love this. I guess I'm a midway type of guy. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's fine. Okay, so as we said, I'm gonna go 3-0. We're gonna go C9 and Eternal Fire. Now, C9, obviously, for a lot of you, they've been playing without an Oper, which is a bit of an issue, and they probably will pick up an Oper eventually, but it is one of the, I'd say, the only team that just has the sheer amount of cohesiveness and firepower and just rifle quality to justify it, and I believe that they're one of the few teams that could be considered even elite in this stage of the major. So I think they're a great shot with that favorable first round matchup as well. Then you have Eternal Fire. Both those teams actually don't have the easiest first round matchups, right? But I still do believe that Eternal Fire, momentum wise, could be able to just run through everybody else. They've been looking spectacularly recently. Obviously, Wakadi has been the next big thing coming out of the Turkish scene. Everyone else is a pretty experienced player that has played majors before, so it's going to be interesting. I feel like they're going to do really well. So we're going 3-0 Eternal Fire and C9. 0-3. Now, for me, this is the obvious choice. I feel like Lim Vision is just a team that's now starting to make their way into qualifying to majors, and they will need to play a couple more international events in order to get up to that level. I feel like, obviously, I like the fact that the Asian scene is showing some great promise and potential recently, but I just feel like even if you had to compare them to the Mongols, I could just see how the Mongols are 1 or 2 levels above Lim Vision in their development right now. And let's not forget, the Mongols actually had to play, obviously, different iterations of the lineup, but that organization and a certain group of players, they had to play throughout a couple of majors to actually get to the level where we're considering them as a team that could qualify and go forward. So for me, straight away, I think it is a pretty obvious one to put Lim Vision down in the 0-3, and the other one I will go for will be Legacy. I've seen a lot of people go Imperial, a lot of people go Pain. I've had the chance to cast Imperial. I think on Imperial you can see 2 of the brightest Brazilian talents for the future in No Way and Decency. They're incredible players, and I think Imperial have just looked pretty solid recently, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here. Same for Pain. Pain has been a bit awkward, but I like the new signings. I like the young players in there. I like Cowies. I like Nissim, I like Lux. I believe that with Biguzera's experience on this level, they will be able to take a best of 3. Of course, if they were to play against Lim Vision in an elimination best of 3, which I think is the case possibly, I would favor Pain to win that game. So I am going with that foundation with some experience there. And now we go to the teams that I think will advance. Now, there's a pretty logical angle. Now, I'm putting in ENCE. I'm putting in Heroic. I think they qualify easily. I'm putting in Seoul, which I think is one of the easiest picks, by the way. I'm wondering why people are not picking into Seoul. Seoul are playing some pretty solid CS. Seoul are like, I'd say they're pretty similar to an Apex in a way, but Seoul has been just a pretty long-term foundation that has been built up, and now they have the firepower to back it. They've been one of the, in case you haven't followed Tier 2 CS, they have been one of the fundamentally strongest teams, especially T-side-wise, prep-wise, anti-wise. They've just been great at doing their homework. So I do believe that they will show some great form. Of course, recently, both Story and Ujerks have been playing great as well, which helps massively. But yeah, I do believe that they have a pretty nice mix of players, and I think they're going to make it through pretty safely. Then we move forward. I think Fury will make it through. I think they need to. I think they must. Can they flop it? Absolutely they can, but do I think they will make it through? I do think they will make it through. And now this is where it becomes interesting. So I don't think Koi will make it through. I love Ecstatic, but I don't think Ecstatic make it through either. Although I'm going to be cheering for those guys for sure. I like the players, and I like Kragen quite a lot. I don't think Amka will make it through. I think it's too early in that team's development. Although I like the pieces there as well. You know, you have people like Nickelback. You have Icy, who's arguably one of the best up-and-coming CIS opers out there, which is a pretty impressive thing to say in such a stacked region of opers and individually good players. I don't think Bane make it through. I don't think 9 Pandas make it through, although 9 Pandas is an odd one, right? They've been playing some really solid CS. So if I had to look at those, I think there is a world where there is a fight between, in my heart, there is a fight between Apex, 9 Pandas, Imperial, and Ecstatic, actually, for those 2 last spots. Imperial was the one, if you've seen, I've posted a Skin Club Pick'em challenge, I guess. You can participate in that giveaway. Well, it's not a giveaway, it's a competition, but it's a free one, so it's kind of like a giveaway if you get him right. So I'm gonna leave a link below. I did put Imperial through there because I really like Imperial, and I wanted to be a little bit more interesting with it, but I'm gonna go the easy, the safe way here. I'm gonna go Apex. I think they have the experience on a lot of the players, although Sense, who's the IGO, is actually playing his first major. I think they're going to do a good job, and I really believe that this could be an Apex just standard qualification throughout to the next stage. In the next stage, I'm not sure if they're going to do that well, but I believe they can go through here. And then the final one I'm going to put in, I'm going to put the Mongols. I really believe that the Mongols have been playing some decent CS recently. I really hope to see them in the next stage. I really want to see that team succeed. I like the foundation they've been able to build throughout the last couple of years. Now they have the experience. They're playing against better teams. They did well in the last couple of international tournaments that they played, got some closer games, were able to, for example, play toe-to-toe with Spirit in a series, which was quite impressive. So yeah, I'm putting in the Mongols. I think I'm quite satisfied with this. Obviously, you can make a point about a lot of the teams going through. This stage is always up in the air, and there could be a lot of things to go wrong, but I think I'm happy with that. I don't think I'm changing. So the only difference between my picks here and my picks on Skin Club, which again I'm going to link below, is Mongols instead of Imperial. I think I'm happy with this. And yeah, that's what I'm going for. We're locking them in. I hope that this has been a helpful video for all of you. Make sure to let me know what picks you decided to go for and what teams you decided to go for. Now, hopefully they will be releasing those on time, and I'll be able to record videos for every single stage, because I will be there for the playoffs in Copenhagen to watch it live and record some content for you guys and for some other stuff. So yeah, I hope they release, at least for the playoffs, they release the predictions early enough, so I'm going to be able to record a video. If not, I guess we're just gonna have to do it with a tweet. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you for the next one. Stay safe.